As you can see, summer's here. It's hot out, sunny. Possibility of thunderstorms always. So as we end week 2, I want to talk a little bit about the discussion posts that we had. There was a lot of good research conducted, a lot of good interaction between the students, and you may have noticed that I submitted some questions in there in different posts, just to kind of generate the discussion or allow you to think a little bit deeper about some of the things that you're responding to or your initial post. So when I use this term dig deeper, I want you to understand what I'm looking for is I want you to move on from opinion and discussion posts or responses to other students that say I agree or I believe are really opinion. And since this is an academic endeavor, it requires a little bit of research. So when you think about that, I want you to get deeper into the discussion. I want you to conduct some research. I want you to back your opinions up with some facts. So here's an example of an opinion entry in the discussion area. Now, let's look at the one that's a little bit deeper and how you might do this. And this example is given just a made-up example. The references are not real, but take a look at how you might format that. So now you can start to see the difference between the two, and you can start to understand how you can use the discussion post with a little bit of research to really generate some idea and thought-provoking among the students. So the questions that I ask, I encourage each of you to think about those, and when you're responding to another student, not only provide your input based on some research that backs up your opinion, but if you have questions, pose them to that student. Engage in a conversation. Okay, so this week we're going to look at chapters 5 and 6. First of all, chapter 5. Chapter 5 covers personality and values. So when we think about this, what really is personality, and what does it have to do with your job and performance? So remember, your personality is the sum of ways in which you react to and interact with others. So often a question that comes up, is your personality hereditary? Meaning, are you born with it? Or is it something that you learn over time? So for those people that say it's something that you learn over time, how do you account for, and we've all seen it, where somebody sees a baby or you have a baby in the family and somebody says he or she acts just like so-and-so. They have the same personality as so-and-so. So they haven't learned anything yet, so it must be hereditary. But on the other hand, how do you take a scenario where you have identical twins who may be separated at birth and grew up in different cultures, different areas of the country, and they have completely different personalities? They act completely differently. So there you would say it's a learned behavior. All right? So the truth is, when we talk about personality, it's a mixture of both. You're influenced by your surroundings, and you have some genetic code that starts you off as you go through life. So when you look at chapter 5, I want you to think about personality and these personality traits and how they impact you. Are you shy? Are you aggressive? Are you ambitious? Those different traits. And how does that impact you at work or your employees? How does their personality impact them at work? And how do people around them perceive them? How do they come off? And then lastly, in this chapter, we'll talk about values. Values are, what do you believe? Okay, so this is an important topic as it'll lay the foundation for later discussions in the semester on attitudes and behaviors. So pay particular attention to this chapter as you read through it. All right? Okay, now let's think about chapter 6. So when we think about chapter 6, we're going to be looking at our perceptions, right? How we perceive circumstances, how we perceive people, and how those perceptions impact our decision making. So I want you to think of two scenarios. We all have that person that maybe we don't get along with, hasn't performed well in the past, and as soon as they come in the room or as soon as you're engaging with them in a conversation, you may take a negative tone. What if that person did an assignment absolutely perfectly? You may still grade them lower than somebody else, which is unfair to that employee. Now, on the other hand, we've had that employee that's typically bright, cheerful, everybody likes them, and then oftentimes that person gets by with things, maybe gets by with a little underperforming. That's known as the halo effect. Anything they do is right. Again, not really fair to the other employees. So this week we're going to think about our perceptions and how those perceptions impact our decision making, how we perceive others, how we react to them. So think about that as you move through chapter 6. Again, both chapter 5 and 6 are very important to laying the foundation of the things we're going to talk about in the next few weeks. I look forward to seeing your work this week, and I'll check in with you. Thank you.